Okay, so somebody's watching Facebook also,
All
right?
Okay.
Okay, so just 5 seconds of silence. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You know I've got to cover it all because wherever you may be in the world, we are just appreciative to be with you one more time. Welcome to Conversations in the Nick of Time, powered by Sparkman Pathway to Careers and KSTL 690. I am your host, Nikki Roach, and you have joined us on the platform. This is our virtual classroom where we talk about everything leadership. And when we talk about leadership, we're talking about success and accidents. And we know that it takes both of those things to be successful and to be sustainable. I am always just thrilled to have any guests that I have on, but today I'm just amped because we've been talking about this for a while. And when I talked to Marsha Mitchell, then she was like, oh, I can't do this by myself. I've got to pull in Tami Ward, who is also like one of the kind of like the wind beneath her wing to get her launched. And then what better time? I had no idea that this week was National Small Business Week. That is just amazing to me. The timing, God's timing is always good. So we're just excited to have, as I've mentioned, in our virtual studio, Marsha Mitchell and Tami Ward. And Marsha Mitchell, she is the founder behind Allegiance Home Healthcare LLC, an in-home healthcare company servicing healthy kids, Alzheimer's, dementia, and veterans care. And then we have Tami Ward, who is the owner of Care Companions of Clayton CDS and attached to Home in Services. And she's been doing this over 7 years. And they have such a unique story because not only are they successful and the business has been sustainable, and we're going to learn more about that, but they took a spin and went against all the myths that sisters can't work together. And I'm just delighted by the story. I'm so excited to learn of the journey with you as a listening audience. But just to set some framework, and you know, I'm all about the data and to make things make sense for us. And according to the SBA, that's a Small Business Association, there are 30.7 million small businesses in the United States, which account for 99.9% of all US businesses. And then there are 1.5 million jobs annually, which account for 64% of new jobs that are created by Marsha and Tami. They're part of that number of keeping us working in the world. And then what was interesting, according to the latest small business statistic, nearly 1/3, 31% of all small businesses are currently not operable because of COVID. And COVID is just 1% of that. And then this is like over 70% of US small businesses they shut down back in March. But then some companies figured out how to pivot. And also they understood that their business, which is why I also celebrate these beautiful women, is that they did the research to understand what the demand was in their region. And that was one of the things that needed to happen. Let me be quiet because I cannot wait to hear you guys. Marsha, Tami, one of you jump in. Why did you decide to even start a business of any kind?
I'll let Tami start first because she's been in the longest, and she jumped in head first and was grabbing me to come along with her, and I was like nervous. So I'll let Tami start it off.
Come on, Tami.
Well, actually, I started the business because I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew I wanted to work for myself and do my own things and help people in my community. So I just went and stepped out on faith and went forward.
And then, but what was the challenge? Because there are so many steps, and I'm going to put this at the very end. There's top 10 steps what you need to do to be a small business owner. That didn't bring about any fear for you?
Well, it did, but again, I kept my faith and I stayed positive and I just stayed with the right group of people and just got insight and I read a lot of books and I read literature. I read within my proposal and I just spoke with different people in Jefferson City and I made way and I kept going and now it's been almost 8 years later. So,
8 successful years later, right?
yes,
Yes.
8 successful. Even doing COVID, even doing COVID, it's still successful. Yes.
Wonderful. Now, how
Yes.
is it that when you got started, because you're not only because you're dealing with healthcare, you could some of us start businesses and we're solopreneurs, which we're never solo really by ourselves. But your company could not survive without people. How did you even
Right.
start the journey of recruiting?
Yes.
Well, my journey of recruiting was basically talking to the same people, letting them know that we're still here for them. We're still supporting them during COVID, during different obstacles in their lives, with people having so many deaths and not just with their family members, but with children and different things happening. We just stayed supporting people and supporting one another, and not just with us getting support in-house. We also gave support out-house to all surrounding people, and that's how you keep good people.
Okay.
Yes.
It's
It was
Marsha.
very hard because the Missouri Medicaid does not give you clients. So once you become a business, it's up to you to recruit and get clients. So that's
Absolutely.
very hard. They don't give us a list. They don't give us names of people who are looking for agencies. We have to go out there and find the people.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
pre-COVID, it wasn't as bad because we could go out, we can go to senior citizen facilities, adult daycares. We could go play bingo with them, have different games, go meet them at the library and things like that. But now with COVID, we can't do any of those things. Those places
Right.
closed down. So we had to maintain the clients that we had in this tough economy because Target and other stores, other places started paying $15 an hour. And
Yes.
that's not,
Yes.
state scale is at $10 an hour. So we found it hard to even retain employees because of that. And then because of other companies trying to take over the smaller companies, paying people more than $10 an hour. And so there's not really, they made it very difficult. In the city of St. Louis and St. Louis County, there are 988 agencies that do.
Pump the brakes.
Okay.
988 agencies just in Missouri.
Yes, just in St. Louis City and St. Louis County.
And so what made you all think that you could just show up and do what you do?
Well, I'm a people person. I love talking to people. I love meeting people and I love helping people. And when in the church, I started out in the church helping people and then with my older relatives. So, and then when Tamika brought it up and I was like, okay, we know so many people and we're always in the neighborhood. I do a lot of volunteering. I volunteer with my kids. And so I was like, well, maybe I can do this, and I saw Tamika, she was hustling. She was walking the streets, putting her flyers out. She even advertised in the Cheesecake Factory. Yeah, on the buses. St. Louis Business Journal. Yeah. So I was like, okay. So, and then word of mouth, when people find out, if people know you're a good person and they know you're going to treat people right, they refer people to you. So a lot of things we get is by word of mouth.
Okay, so since you've taken us there, one of the things that SBA is saying that 64% of surveyed small businesses use social media in their marketing strategy. So pre-COVID, and this is to both of you, pre-COVID, what was your marketing strategy as a small business owner?
Okay, so my marketing strategy is Facebook, it's Instagram, and it's a web page. But we have to be mindful that the people, the senior citizens that need this service aren't on
so that was
social media.
My question. Then why?
So we reach out, so we try to get their kids, their nieces, their nephews, the grandkids. We try to reach them. And so once we reach them, then they could take it back to the seniors. And so that's how we reach those seniors. But we can't.
A lot of word of mouth.
Yes, a lot of word of mouth. Yes.
And when you say word of mouth, whose mouths are you even confronting to even, like, what kind of pitch are you telling individuals to help be champions for you?
I tell one thing too, and the people who work for us, we try to treat them very compassionately. We try to help them in their work and let them know, because some seniors, you know, when you're sick, you're not nice. And so we try to help the employees get through the day, do their job, and then we try to provide them with whatever they need. You know, if they need uniforms or clothing to wear, if they need, I even had, during COVID, I had masks made for all my employees and all my clients. So I did give out the disposable masks, but we also gave out cloth masks. So during those things, I've given out water bottles, things that people need, lotion, lip gloss, anything that they need to make their work better while they're there, then I try to help them do that. So, and when they are treated good, they tell their friends or they tell other people, and then that's how we grow the business.
Okay, this is wonderful. Now,
it's like a trickle effect.
Okay,
yeah.
And so, which is a great point, because one of the other data points that was brought up, and they were saying that 52% of respondents, and these are small business owners, stated that the most important problem for small businesses was labor quality, being able to find talent that would stick around, and those who would be interested. And it says small businesses say it's hard to find qualified individuals to hire for businesses that have more than 50 employees. Percent of owners believe it's harder to find quality, even harder to find quality workers.
Right, and in our industry, that is double that, because we have to run. We look for dependable people who have transportation or who are able to catch the bus to get to that job, and that have work ethic, that will go in and do the work. Some people go in and they just sit on their phone, don't do anything, but we need the people to go in and work, because the seniors or the disabled person that they're helping needs to work. So our problem is finding those good people. Then we have to get them registered with the Family Care Safety Register and with EDL. So a lot of people are afraid. They don't want to have their background ran. They think it's a job that they can't do. So we have a second barrier that's put in front of us on the type of people, because they have to pass the Family Care Safety Register and EDL to be an employee.
And that is through, and so once they take that, then they can even be considered.
Correct. Yes.
Now, what kind of training do the two of you participate in to make sure that you are being the boss that you need to be for your teams? How do you remain relevant yourself?
Yes.
We remain relevant. It's basically speaking back and forth with one another. It's basically like a tag team. I get information from Marsha, she gets information from me, and we, keep each other up on the day-to-day time schedules, just staying proactive with one another with the basic task of being in home care agency. The best thing we look for is the dignity morals of each individual, and make sure they stay compliant with what we require. If you do not have these morals, then you cannot work for us at all. And this is the background check that we look for. We look for things in documents. All those take place, and we have other agencies about these people. We don't just bring anyone into the home, because it's personal. It's their home. So it's a lot of things, different facets that we go to and make sure we hire the right candidate. We don't just hire the candidates. So it's a lengthy process, but it's worth it. It's worth it because it's someone's mom, dad, sister, brother, niece. We have a big heart for people that have disabilities, people that are differently disabled from one another, and just feel that it's important to get a perfect match. They're not always perfect, but at least similar, and it's just the best. That's just the best option for us with both agencies.
Right. And we get so much mail every day from the Department of Health and Senior Services and MMAC. So we can't read through all of it sometimes. So sometimes Tamika get us, she'll read and she'll say, "Oh, did you see this?" Or I'll catch something to say, "Did you see this?" So we go bounce back off of each other.
Okay.
Yes, we piggyback all the time.
So what's interesting is that, Tamika, you had your business already set up and you were operating. You've been working on Marsha, kind of come in and do some work in the same vein. And what's interesting is that it's the same work, different audience, already competitive. COVID made it even more competitive because now you have to figure out how can you even get to the clients.
Right.
But what was it that caused you to want to help her do the same thing that you're doing? I love it, and I think there's room because no one person can fix everything or meet all the needs. But what was it that made you say, you know what, I have this small business, and then I have another small business. They're doing great. Because you really, what she's doing, you could be doing, but you've basically groomed her in a sense and exposed her to the business, and then kind of like release the bird from your hands. You know, go ahead and fly, baby bird.
Yes.
Tell me why? Like, how did that come about?
Well, for me, I can say I believe in something called the law of reciprocity, and what you give out and what you do unto others, you expect those things to come back in return. So I just felt that if I decided to give it to Marsha or 20 other people, I just feel that I might need you one day. So I just believe that if you do unto others, you expect others to come back to do to you, and you want those things to always stay in a circle. You know, it's just always revolving doors. And you never know how you need someone. It's not just with the home healthcare business, but it could be another insight. It could be how to help someone, or just change a flat tire. It could be just a lot of things. But I just wanted to give it to her because I knew she would be good. She's in marketing. She knows what to do. She's a go-getter. She's determined. She's punctual. She's just everything. So I knew she would be a very good qualified candidate for opening a home healthcare agency.
Right. And we kind of piggyback off of each other because I do taxes as well, and then I'm a notary. And so I help in those ways with things that she may need.
And she does real estate.
Yes. And so, and then one other thing that's nice is that she's my niece. So it's there's another dynamic in there. She's my niece, so it's fun helping her and working
together.
It's a
family flair.
Yes, and it's better to work together with somebody that's in the family, somebody you get along with, and you all have the same goal. It's easier because this is a hard word. You know, when people say owning your own business is a hustle, it's a true hustle.
It is.
Yes.
Because
it is.
You don't.
It really is.
No, there is no taking a sick day.
No.
And still get paid for it.
There isn't.
No. Yes.
There isn't a project like someone's going to deliver it to you. No, you have to come up with the idea, the ideation process, all the way to the execution.
Yes, exactly.
The funding is the other thing I wanted to tap on. But I'm gonna come back to that because you just mentioned that you guys are family, and you both have the same respect for one another.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little respect. There's a level of support that I'm hearing each of you say.
Yes.
What would you have done different now that you've been, because it's been how long now? That Marsha, you launched, it was a year ago?
Like about 3 years ago.
Okay, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
What would you have done different? One thing.
I would have followed what Tamika was doing a little closer, because the rules and regulations that the state has it's very difficult. It's not as easy as people think. You know, they think home health care, it's so easy, it's simple. You just go in and you open up a business and you're just running and everything's going good, money's coming in, but it's not like that at all. It's not like that at all. It's very hard. And so what I would have done different is that I probably would have started sooner and been on the hustle with her earlier in the process. Coming in on the back end, it was a little difficult, but I'm glad that she was there to help me on, and then I help her. And she wants to do even greater things. I'm getting ready for retirement, so I'll be able to, whatever I do, I'll be able to pass on to her, and she'll just take it and run with it, and I'll just sit back and be retired. So that's my goal.
She'll be on the beach. I'll still be working.
Right.
Working and getting that hair done, right?
That's right. Exactly. Yes.
So Tammy, what would you have done different?
I think what I would have done different, I would have stayed outside more. COVID has taught me so many different things of how things can get cut off so fast. With the blink of an eye, and it's beyond your control. And I just feel that if I probably would have met 30 more people before March, or met 100 more people before March, or just built my database of networking and communicating with people at different nursing homes and hospitals and social workers and caseworkers, if I would have built that up more, I think that would have made me go farther than what I am. I'm well, but I would have went farther. And I just feel like you always want to keep your networking as much as possible, you know, and that's one of the things that I think I didn't do. But I love what I do, so I just keep going, COVID or not. Nothing's going to stop us. COVID's not going to stop. Nothing's going to stop us. We're going to keep going. We're determined, and this is it. You know, it doesn't stop here. We just keep going.
I love it. I love it. Now, you mentioned networking and having been more aggressive, it seems, in your approach to networking. How important has that been? Because honestly, we throw that language around so freely. You need to network. You need to network. Or I'm going to network. But we already know it's important. If each of you could give me one strategy that has worked for you when it comes to networking that you could share with the listeners?
My one strategy, it ain't what you know, it's who you know, because those people can put you in the right place for the right things and the right time and the right hour. So I feel that's my one strategy. I always keep it in my mind, you know. So that's my strategy.
Okay. And mine is speak to everyone. You should speak to everyone anyway. When you walk into a room, you should always speak to people, but you never know what someone's going through, and you never know what they're into if you don't speak to them. So everywhere I go, I speak to everybody. My husband said I can talk to an ant. So I talk to everybody, and then so what do you do? So what do you do? So some people, it's sort of like when people ask you what high school you went to. So, just meet everybody, because somebody knows somebody knows somebody. Yeah. So I think speaking to everyone and being cordial with everyone is the way to go.
Now, what would you say, what's keeping you up at night as a small business owner?
Well, one thing, being able to,
what keeps me up?
Yeah.
I think what keeps me up at night is.
Go ahead.
Are you on there?
Uh-oh. I think
okay.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. So what keeps you up at night?
What keeps me up at night? Oh, what keeps me up at night? I think about my clients. I think about the attendants. I think about, have they taken care of them for the day? I think that's what keeps me up at night. That's what makes me go harder the next day. How can I help them? If the attendant was able to help them, what can I do for them? If it's taking them, I could take them White Castles. I could take them McDonald's. I could take them some Sprite, some Pepsis, things, I probably shouldn't have, but those are things that make people happy, just the little things, and that's what keeps me up at night, just to making sure that, hoping and praying that they're okay, that they're surviving, we go in bad neighborhoods, and making sure the elderly people are okay, because I don't have just young people, I have elderly people, and they touch my heart because they're like family. So that's something that keeps me up at night. It could be Miss Jones or Miss Williams or Miss Harold or anyone. I just always think of them. So that's something that tugs my heart a little bit. It's them, honestly. Yeah,
and mine is figuring out a way. There's so many seniors out here that need service, that don't know how to get it. They don't know how to navigate the system. So being an advocate for these seniors and helping them, because some of them are like right on the borderline, and to be in the Medicaid program, you have to make a certain amount of money. You can only have a certain amount of money in the bank. And then they have what you call a spin down. If you're over a certain limit, you have a spin down. A lot of these seniors can't pay that spin down. So it's looking for ways to navigate the system so that they could be allowed in the system, so they can get the help, because they need the help. And just if they make $10 more, it's like tragic. And it's like, oh my God. So it's more things that go on, it's trying to find the spin down, trying to get that paid, trying to get them set up with a trust account. And that now, since there's COVID, there is a little help, you know, because you can get a COVID waiver. But all of those things take Tamika and I time to navigate the system and who to talk to. And now with everybody calling, the lines are busy,
Yes.
are on hold for half an hour to 45 minutes. So nothing is easy. Not everything takes time. So that's what keeps me up wondering, okay, how am I, you know, how am I get that client service? You know, that client needs service. They need somebody to help them. They need somebody to change their bag. They need somebody to help them get in the bathtub, to do their toenails. So trying to get that service started for them, that's what keeps me up at night.
Okay, because there are barriers, and
right,
absolutely.
That what's interesting is that the middle age individuals are the ones who are transitioning out of here, and our seniors, I mean, they're hanging around.
They're hanging around. They're hanging around.
Their mortality rate is just going up, and they're actually they're doing more, even according to data. You know, if you go out to the census, like the older generation, which is the traditionalists, so that's those who are, you know, in their 60s and above, like they are baby boomers and traditionalists, I should say, are staying around longer. They're working longer. So I understand what you're saying about, oh my gosh, if they make certain amount of money, because just because they work doesn't mean that they don't need the service. And I think in what both of you do and offer, and we'll get to that in just a moment, there's so many myths and misunderstandings around what it is that you provide. But then there's also, as you mentioned, the children who also may be of working parents who actually need that help, but they're working, trying to bring in a decent amount of money, but they can't bring in too much money. So you as leaders of your organizations are having to advocate. You're not only running a business, but you're having to be advocates for the So they say that more than 50% of small businesses fail the very first year, and more than 95% of small startups fail within the first 5 years. What, if you could both address, have you put in place to not be in this number? Marsha, we'll start with you.
Okay, I think in this business is very hard because I took a class the other day for consumer directed services. And in the class, the moderator told us that there was 200 people who had signed up for consumer direct service review class. But out of that, she said only about 100 people will end up applying because of the paperwork and necessary things that you have to follow to get into the business. And she said that out of the 988 agencies that are in St. Louis City and St. Louis County, over 100 of them have less than 10 clients. So in COVID, you can operate. You can operate. If you got less than 10 clients, you know, how are you going to pay your telephone bill? How are you going to pay your office rent? How are you going to pay for your payroll? How are you going to pay taxes? How are you going to pay your insurance? So because of COVID now, if you had less than 10 people, less than 10 clients, you could not survive. So one way that I've been doing is just making sure that each one of my clients are happy and don't leave me, and that no one can poach them from me, poach the employees.
I guess so, because it's 988 other agencies.
So you got these other agencies that have moved from out of town that are trying to take your clients. So
so people from other states can also come in. Whoa.
Yes. They will come in and open up an agency and try to get your people. They're advertising on the billboard that they're paying $12 an hour, and there's not a lot of profit room in there. So it's like, you know, if you already struggling through COVID and then you got people coming in making these promises, it's like, you know, it's very hard. It's very hard. So you have to, so it's very hard for people to stay afloat. And a lot of people have closed during this COVID. A lot of agencies have closed.
Wow.
So, and so just keeping and talking with other people, because we do have other people who we know that are in the business that we can you know, that we can talk to about some things. You know, you can't talk about everything because everybody's
Yes.
not, even if they're on the same business with you. You have to watch your circle.
Yes,
Watch
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. You really have to, because people will steal your ideas. They'll use it for their own gain. People will not help you. And you know, if you feel that the person is not helping you, I just feel that you shouldn't extend as much of your hand out with them, giving them so much information. And you know, this business is it's like a dog eat dog business. And I just feel that, you know, you again, you do unto others as you want people to do to you. And some people just do not, you know, take that in. You know, and I just feel that you just need to take care of your client as much as possible. Some clients will call you at 10 o'clock at night for nothing. You know, they just want to call for days. So I let people know that I'm open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because I take calls, I take texts, I communicate with my clients. I try to be personal because they're a family of mine. Without them, there is no me. You know,
so then how is it? So these are excellent strategies. So basically being focused. I'm talking client-centered is what I'm hearing you all say.
Yes.
And if that means 24 hours, 24 hours, but it's all about the client.
Yes.
And the client is, I will also say, you know, as you said earlier, taking care of your team.
Right.
That's
exactly.
Focus, because you have a two-prong approach here where you're having to hire good talent and keep
good talent.
Yes.
Exactly.
And also having these families, you're engaging, you have to kind of make sure the families are cool.
So that you scratch my back, I scratch yours. That's what it's about. You know, we look out for one another. It's not just home health care. This is deeper than home health care. You know, you can have people with you for 5. I've had people with me from day one. So my day ones are like my A1s. Like, I don't play about them. Like, I'm very serious about them. I'm adamant about them. I tend to them. And even people that's been with me for a week, it's the same way. You know, I communicate with them because I want them well. You know, and some people would never get well, but I still want their minds well. I want, you know, them to live well and to be as comfortable as possible, at least.
Yeah. So anybody who's going into a small business needs to definitely stay focused, stay determined. You can make it. You can do anything you want in this world. And so don't let anybody talk you out of it. If you've got the strong mind, if you've got an idea, go for it. Give it your best. You know, give it your best. Keep your circle small.
As small as possible.
Keep your circle small, but keep your networking as wide as possible.
But you need a circle, is what I'm hearing.
Right. You need a circle. You need a circle. Yes.
Now, I have a comment. There's a couple comments out here. I'm going to pull one from Patrice Finney. She says, I only have one client and I'm having a hard time getting more. What advice would you share with her?
I would tell her to find out other ways to advertise. Reach out to all of her relatives, all of her cousins, all of her distant cousins, her play cousins. You have to reach out to everybody you know and say, hey, I've got this business and I need help. Don't be afraid to tell people that you need help. Look, I need help. Do you know anybody? If you know anybody or you hear anybody, here's my card, here's my telephone number. You're free to give it out to anybody, and you have to keep that. If I'm at Macy's and I see somebody in a wheelchair, I'm sorry. Hello, how you doing? My name is Marsha. I am talking to you. So you can't be afraid to talk to people. You can't be afraid to approach people, because some people are feeling just like you. They're scared. They're just like, oh, you know, I may want to ask her something, but I'm scared, and they'll miss the boat. So don't miss your chance. If you at the hairdresser, you at the grocery store, you out shopping, you
put
in
them
the
everywhere.
park,
Talk to everybody.
Park,
And don't just talk to don't just talk to people
everybody.
that's in a wheelchair, because people are not just disabled. Their mind is also, they also have mind issues and bipolar and schizophrenia and things like that. So people can be taking medications and still be, you know, have diabetes, and none of these things have looks, or they don't have different traits. So you can approach all people of all facets of life and, you know, talk to everybody, whether they have a disability or not. They could be a private pay client. Private pay clients do the same thing as Medicaid clients or government clients. They still pay and they still help you, and you can help them as well. So,
Velda Keys, how are you? Beautiful sister who does a lot of work with women recovering from breast cancer, and she has this amazing service. Her heart is all in it. And she said, that's good. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yes.
I just wanted to mention that because that's one thing, even in the way that the two of you even came together to begin this work, and to be able to hand it off and understanding that we're not going to know everything.
Yes.
But even in getting those clients, what Patrice said, like you said, it's not a look. I love when you said that it's not a look,
Yes.
it's not a person, it's not a type. Me going work in the space of diversity and inclusion truly understands that we talk about diversity. That spectrum is as wide as East is from West.
Yes.
And it's everything in between in regards to understanding the needs of people are so different today than it even was that we would even talk about and expose even 10 years ago.
Right.
Yes.
And there's such a movement now to give everyone a purpose for living, regardless of your lack of ability, whether that's mental, whether that's physical, whatever that is. There's a push, and we all deserve that. And I think the service we provide allows individuals, whether it's like, say for instance, like I've cared for an aging parent, and even for me, I needed a break at times. But home health was not even wasn't even a discussion at the time. Now, like if to do it over
looking
again,
back.
because when you work, that takes a lot out of you, and we're not. So these are some of the myths that I wanted to get to in regards to understanding what you do is not just for like someone in the wheelchair. Yes, we bring them in, we want them, but it's bigger than that, right?
It's bigger than that, exactly. It's bigger than that. And now with COVID, even though there's 988 agencies, in 2021, we're going to be dealing with people who have survived COVID but have underlying problems. We're going to be dealing with more mental health people. So I would tell that person who has one client to start setting herself up for 2021, because, you know, better things are coming. So I'm not to say better things because people are going to be sick, but your business will be, if you keep focused and you keep working on it, things will look better for you. You know, things will work out. And it's sad that we're going to have those clients that have lung problems or heart problems from COVID. And a lot of people who have mental issues now, the mental issues are going to be worse after COVID. Think about people who have a problem and they were already introverts or staying in the house and not coming out, and now they're forced not to.
And there's no age for that.
No, there's no age for that. There's no age for that. And then a lot of people think about veterans, and when they say veterans, they think about the men, but there are a lot of women veterans that need help. So decide which way you want to go and what you want to focus on that, and just
stick with it.
Stick with it and keep going. Don't give up.
I love your advice in regards to setting yourself up, because it's not just about the moment. It's about looking forward. And I think that's a great nugget for those who are listening and who are leading, who want to have a small business. You gotta be a visionary. You need to be a visionary.
Right. And COVID, even though it's bad, it's given us time to sit back and read more things, investigate more things, and really take time. Because at first, when everything was like going, you couldn't keep up with everything. But COVID forced all of us to sit down and take a break and breathe and really get into whatever that you wanted to do, whatever venture you wanted to go into. If you were thinking to be an entrepreneur, it gave you the time now to really get those plans together. So I would tell all people who are looking, and small business owners, to really take this time to focus and get their plan of action together.
And write things down and delegate and stick to it, and keep your ideas and stay on it, and get a vision board and mark things down in just different areas and different ways to communicate with people, and stay on it. Vision boards work.
You gotta work it to work.
Right. You have to work it.
I'm a fan of it, but I'm also a fan of like, what will you do next? Because you
Right.
can't, it can't be just pretty and colorful and we put it on the wall or we put it behind the door.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
like, oh shoot, I did that 2 years ago. Like, did I do any of this stuff?
Right.
Yes.
And then, but speaking of, you said take a break. How are you practicing self-care? Because as we said earlier, being a small business owner is no joke.
Right.
Yeah.
You bring in other people to create a team, and you have
Mhm.
clients. It is even deeper of a no joke.
Mhm.
You self-caring.
Well, my self-care is I'll drive in the car. I'll go to Target. I'll lay in the bed all day. No phone, no nothing. Just long baths is a good self-care for me.
Mhm.
Relaxation is a good self-care, but I'll still be working in the back of my mind, but just to kind of woo-side and just turn the world off. And then, I know I have to turn the world back on. So that's one of the ways that I do me care,
Mhm. Yeah. And my self-care, I have joined a bike group. And so I have been biking. Yes, I have been biking with with the Sunset group in St. Louis. And so they bike every evening from 6 to 7:30, and on Saturdays and Sunday they go somewhere. And it has just been, and all the people are younger than me. Oh my God, but it's just been so amazing to try to keep up with them. So that's what I've been doing for self-care. You're doing the same thing?
Part of that, your team is my neighbors.
Oh man.
They're like, do you ride bikes? We're with a professional group of
Yes.
riding bike. I said, well, no, I don't ride bikes.
But it's so much, it's really a lot of fun. And all the bikes are decorated and they light up at night, and it's just a cool feeling. It's just good. And then everybody helps everybody because the other day I was like at 9.2 miles, and I was like, okay, no, I can't leave until I get to 10. They was like, okay, we with you. They kept riding with me until we got to 10, and I was like, okay, I got to 10. So they push you, they ride with you, they support you. Nobody leaves anybody. If something happens, everybody comes back. So it's just a good group of people. And Lamont Collins, he's our little bike coach, and we really appreciate him. So that's how I do self-care.
Yeah, bike riding. We have long bags. Not walking to Target, walking to Target.
Yes. Yes.
I love it. So there are the SBA listed, and that's the U.S. Small Business Association. They have listed a number of steps, 10 steps actually.
Your volume's kind of gone down.
My volume has gone down.
Okay, maybe it's my ear things.
Okay, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now.
So they created a list of 10 steps to start your business. And with this 10 steps, and you can find this on a.gov.
Mm-hmm.
And they give the definition of what a small business is. And it's privately owned corporations, partnerships, sole partnerships that have fewer employees or less than the annual average in revenue than a regular sized corporation. And they go into a whole lot more details. But the 10 steps is what I want to give you. And then ask you to talk about where you could have more time, possibly where you're spending the most time, even. One we already talked about, which is conduct market research, making sure that you have something that the world needs. And a lot of people are not doing that. Write down your business plan. Tammy, you just said that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is a myth that says just get started and then figure out what works and then build on it. What do you guys think?
I can hear it all.
You can hear it all now? Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Let me see. I'm going to take these out.
Okay. Is that better? Somewhat better?
Hold on, I'm going to get my son is my tech guy. So I have to see. Hey, Julian. 1 second.
Number
Julian,
is fund your business and understand.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna let him see what's wrong with the volume. Can you hear now, Tamika?
Yes, I can hear you, but I
Okay.
can't hear you that much. Mm-mm.
Oh, she can't hear you, Nikki.
Is that better?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
Okay. I think
yes.
my phones are going out, so how can I hear without me?
Thank you, Nikki.
Okay.
Maybe that was it. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So number 3, it says understanding, be able to fund.
Okay, now I hear you. Okay.
They're saying that you need to be able to fund your business is number 3. Before even getting started, how are you going to fund it? Number 4, pick your business location. Number 5, choose your business structure. And by structure, they mean solopreneur, partnership, an LLC, corporation, nonprofit, or a combination. Number 6, choose your business name. Number 7, register your business. Number 8, get federal and state tax ID. Number 9, apply for your licenses and permits as needed. And number 10, open a business bank account. Now, I know one thing that people are wanting to know too is this whole idea behind funding. Did you guys have to find ways to do that?
No. One of my ways was I've always saved, so I just made sure I had a little bit in the bank. But you don't have to have a lot of funding for home health care.
Okay.
You don't have to have a lot of money in the bank. Some people think, do I need to have 10,000, 5,000? No, you do not.
Okay.
You can start this up with $500.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because it's especially like the lady who has one client, what you have to do is first you have to have enough money in the bank to make payroll. So you want to make sure if you got 2 employees, 3 employees, you want to at least have, $500 to $2,000 in the bank. You want to have that anyway because you have to pay. You have to have an office. You have to pay office rent. You have to pay telephone. So you want some money in the bank, but you don't have. So you have to figure out what business you're going in and how much money you think you're going to need to start off. If something happens and you don't have a client for 3 to 6 months, how are you going to pay your office, your telephone, your insurance, or whatever? For your marketing, your ink, how are you going to pay those bills? So you need to write down what you're going into and what you're going to need. And then that will set up your budget. That's how you can set up your budget plan in your future projected budget for the year.
Yes.
I think that's a great point about budget. I think that's something that we just don't want to deal with.
Yes.
But I'm hearing that is key. Like you have to have a budget.
Yeah, you have to have a budget. You have to have a budget. You have to have a business.
That's why it's always
plan.
best to save your money and to make sure you have enough money to kind of go with. So $1,000 to allocate what I need to pay this month, what I need to have per month, what can I, not spend, what can I spend? You can't go into the pot,
Right. You have to have that plan. You got to say, okay, this is what I'm going to stick to. This is how I'm going to do it. And then you also make sure that you are in a place where you could pull from if you need to, emergency fund.
Yes, emergency fund
for everything. And you have to say, okay, this is house money, this is business money. And I'm not going to go, if I have to start going into the house business, how far am I going to go into before I say, okay, this is not going to work. I need to do a new angle. You need to re-strategize at that point.
Okay. Now there's a question that they're asking if you can both speak more to marketing and the whole marketing. So have you had to include marketing in your budget?
Yes.
Well, yes, marketing is in the budget. Going to get flyers and buying flyers and getting things out like that. That's really the only thing, making brochures, and that's really the only marketing that kind of is costly. It depends on how your flyers and your business cards look. Of course, they have good, better, and best. But starting out, I think good is it's fine. It's just suffices getting a better or best because it's basically the way you market and how strong you are with your marketing.
Right.
If you're scared to approach people, then your marketing would be scared. If you're not scared to approach people, you can market without a business card.
Wow.
and,
Okay.
and find out all the things that the city has to offer. St. Louis
Yes,
has a lot
absolutely.
to offer in advertising. I went down and participated in the Rotunda. The Rotunda every month has entrepreneurs. You can come down there, you can get a table, and people just walk through the Rotunda, and they come in, they stop, they talk to you, see what you have, and you can have, you know, when the first time I did it, I had popcorn and I had bottled water, and then I had information on my business. Commerce Bank, some Commerce Banks, I don't know if they do it at all of them, but the one on Del Mar let me market my business there for a month. I had a table. So I just went there every day, and I had mince out. I had different recipes that seniors could make easy at home for them to cook. I had different flyers for different resources for them to go to. And then I had a board for them to sign if they were interested, you know, for those who was interested in help or had somebody who was interested, or for people who were looking for work. And so find those places that let you market and market free. Free
Yes.
is the best thing to go.
Yes,
And then,
free.com.
yes, this month, the Black business that Vita Thurman runs, yes, you can join the Black business for free this month. So advertise there, put your business out there. It's just like the BBB,
Yes.
you know, so put your business out there for free, and then stay away from these marketers. Right now, during COVID, people are out here to take your money. They want to
Yes,
tell you that they are marketing and they can get you out and they can get you customers, but they can't do anything that you can't do.
exactly.
So unless you've got a lot of money to throw away, I would not use one of those marketers. I would get a book. You can get a marketing book. You can go to the bookstore and read on things that you can do yourself. Like I've got water bottles.
And Google. Like
Google,
Yeah.
yeah, Google. Use your computer.
there are so many resources like the flyers. If you go through
Yes.
Canva, Canva.com, you can make brochures. You can make so you just have to pay for printing. All of that for free. Just take time. And I'm telling you, if I can learn some of this stuff,
Yes.
they can walk you through all of this.
Right. Right. Yes.
Between YouTube and Google.
Yes. And I Google everything. I was like, okay,
So
even
do
my
I.
mother, she's 92, and she's like, Google it, just Google it. So that's what you need to do. You
Yeah,
need to use all your free resources.
Yes, absolutely.
One last thing that I do want to make sure just real briefly to talk about, in regards to employees, like you're both hiring, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna get that information from each of you so I can post to make sure
Okay.
that people are aware that their jobs are here. I know one person mentioned, and this goes to from Aqua Adam. She says, I find that it doesn't pay as well as, and there's no insurance coverage that is so needed. How can you address that question?
Well, one thing that I'm looking forward to is that the Missouri Medicaid amendment that passed in August. I think it was August or September to be at the last election, and so that has passed. And so with that, the government is going to be releasing more money, but we won't know until the first quarter if they're going to raise the money, and they need to, because they know that Target, Amazon, all of them are paying $15 an hour. So we get that $15 an hour scale. So we are working hard. We are calling people. We're talking to people. We're sending stuff. You know, a lot of healthcare providers send out emails to everybody and say, call this number and talk to your congressman, talk to your senator, because we need to be able to pay our workers more money. And so we are working on that.
And they deserve more money. The workers deserve more money. The workers, they do a lot of hard work, cooking, cleaning, bathing, giving people baths, and going to the store and burning gas, and those things cost. And
those
you know,
things cost. So I'm hoping with that Medicaid thing that passed that we will be able to pay more, because it doesn't. And right now, this agency, there are some bigger agencies that may be able to pay Medicare and Medicaid, I mean, pay insurances, but right now we don't have those funds to do that. Yeah, they don't give us they don't pay us that for that. So
Okay.
You know, and that's another hard thing of finding workers, because a lot of people want to have insurance and we can't offer
Yes.
that. Yes.
Now, do you offer full-time and part-time?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
That's
And
good
a lot of people want to work two. A lot of people work two jobs. They work two clients. You know, they'll work a client in the morning and they'll stay at that client for 4 hours and they'll go to another client for 4 hours. Or I have private paid clients who they work 8 hours or 10-hour shifts. Sometimes they work overnight. So, you know, it's needed. Yeah, it's needed. It's really needed.
This has been very insightful, and I know we've narrowed down on a specific industry between the two of you. However, there's so many transferable skill sets that you have acknowledged, and I want to thank you both, Marsha. Thank you so much, Tami, for making time. It's crazy how this time just goes by so fast.
Yeah, so fast.
But one thing I want, if each of you could take just a quick, like 30 seconds to, what advice would you have a platform right now to convey one message to the world? And as we know, there are a whole lot of people who have small businesses, or who want to get into the space of small business ownership. What one message would you tell an individual who's wanting to get started? Or let me back up. Or how would you encourage somebody who may be, you know, in that in between, like, I see success, I can see light at the end of the tunnel, but oh my gosh, I think I'm ready to give up. Let's go with that one. What would you tell them?
Well, sorry. Go ahead, Marsha.
Go ahead, Tamika.
Go ahead. I just feel I would tell them, do not give up. You know, you can always, you don't listen to the naysayers or the people that say, I heard this and I heard that. Go with your heart, with your gut, with your mind.
Yes.
You know, stay outside, stay in the know, stay with good, positive people. A lot of people say, oh, it's oversaturated. It's never oversaturated. There's people that are getting sick every hour, every second of the day, and those people can be yours. You know, do not listen to what people say in reference to you can't get clients or it's hard to get clients, because it's easy to get clients. It's as easy as, if you want it to be easy, just stay outside, stay communicating, stay talking, stay making cold calling, you know, staying with the people, you can get clients. And be good at it.
Yeah, I would ask myself, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? What's your goal? What's your future? What's your plan for the future? If this is going to be something that's going to advance you or advance your children, or something that you can leave, that you want to build up to leave for your kids or your nieces or nephews. So how bad do you want it?
Yes.
And how hard are you willing to work for it?
Yes.
If you're at that point, you was like, oh my God, it is so hard. And I've got people now that I work with, helping to start their LLCs, helping to start their business that's coming in there. And I constantly tell them, stay focused. What have you done this week? You know, when I talk to those people, I ask them, what have you done this week? Did you do this? Did you write your business plan? Have you figured out your budget? So trying to keep those people focused. If you can't stay focused and you can't finish your business plan, then you're already doomed. So you need to stay focused and you need to do the things you need to do to make the business work. If you're not going to do that, then, you know, let it go.
And get with other successful people that are doing successful things. If you stay with those people, you will be successful.
Enjoying groups, and one thing, enjoying groups, and then volunteer. There's so many things. Urban League, a lot of places that are giving away food, and organizations, cancer walks, College Bound, Matthew Dickey's, all of those groups. COCA, get involved with what's going on in St. Louis.
Get in the know. Get in the know.
You need to
go
be.
back to that networking, you know.
Yes, it goes back to that networking. Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wow. So those of you who came on a little late, I know you have something that you have walked away with, regardless what industry you're in. Even if you're not a small business, I'm telling you, these are beyond transferable skill sets. There are so many nuggets that can take us further, faster, and to be successful. Because my thing is, what I love about your stories is sustainable. It's not
Yes.
just overnight success. This has been years in the making.
Yes.
It takes time, but I love that you partnered up to make this happen. And as you
Yes.
partnered up, you're allowing other people to live successfully.
Yes. Right. Right. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I know some family members you be like, woo, but you
Yes.
go out on faith, you know, find that one person that you have always been, you know, you've always been connected with.
Come on, wait.
And I would say that. But if you're starting a business and you want a partner, make sure that just like with the marriage, that you are equally yoked. If you're not equally yoked and you don't have the same hustle and the same drive, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
Yes, yes. And so,
Like-minded people. You have to be around like-minded individuals.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Well, I want to thank you ladies so much for giving me some time and giving up to share this part of this journey. Tami
Yes.
Ward, who is the owner of Care Companions of Clayton CDS and attached to Home in-home services.
Yes.
Lady Marsha Mitchell, the owner of Allegiance Home Health Care. Servicing healthy kids, Alzheimer's, dementia, and veterans care. And then they have a host of other things that they actually do amongst the two of them.
Right.
And who knows what's coming around the corner, right?
Right. Right.
Yes,
right.
absolutely.
That's right. They say keep several streams of income. So don't just put all your eggs in one basket. Right.
That's right. That's right.
Another golden nugget, right?
That's right. And I love Nikki. Nikki, I love you. We've been together since we were kids. Your father was my singing teacher at church, even though I couldn't sing. But he was great. He was great to be around and fun. And it was great, you know, growing up with you and knowing you. Yes. Yes.
Please tell them all I said hello.
I sure will.
Thank you so much again. I will put your information out so people can go to your websites, those of you who are looking for employment.
Yes.
We're all about getting people employed and connected in the right places to be in purpose, on purpose. So we'll make sure we put that information out as well. I want to thank each of you for listening. You could be doing anything else, but you've decided to tune in and chime in. Make sure you show some kindness to us and make sure you share so that somebody else can get this information as well. Don't forget, you already possess everything you have to be to be successful. We just need you to engage your head, heart, and hand to make sure that you do the work that's needed to make it happen. Not leaning on somebody else, but you make it happen. Right. And you live out success as you define it, not as the world defines it. So in the meantime, you go, be blessed, be great. Thank you for listening.
Yes. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Just one moment.
Bye.